Let's talk about who we would pardon. Catherine, why don't you lead us off?
So the two most popular presidential pardons are when Joe Biden pardoned people convicted of marijuana possession and former service members convicted of crimes related to their sexual orientation, and the pardoning of draft resistors from the Vietnam War by Ford and Carter. Those are really popular. I guess that was three. Those are really popular. I would do pardons in the same vein. And by the way, get to the conclusion that Biden wanted to get to anyway. Let's pardon people who did nonviolent firearms offenses. Let's do them all. If we're gonna let this one dude who did bad paperwork on his gun off, let's let everybody off. So that's my pick.
Peter Pardoner, who do you got?
So the president should pardon D.M. Bennett, who was convicted under the Comstock Act in 1879. Yes, this would be a posthumous pardon. But D.M. Bennett was convicted under the Comstock Act basically for publishing a pamphlet called Cupid's Yokes, which attacked the institution of marriage. It was written by a free love advocate named Ezra Heywood, who was also convicted under the Comstock Act but was pardoned. But because Bennett was an enemy of Anthony Comstock, the enforcer of the Comstock Act, who was the guy who basically decided what was immoral and therefore what was illegal. And he did this, by the way, as an agent of the U.S. Postal Service, which is just, it's not okay. So because Bennett was somebody who opposed the Comstock Act, he was targeted by Anthony Comstock, who lobbied to make sure that he did not get pardoned. And so he was sentenced to a year in a labor camp, and he was already pretty elderly. Yes, this would be posthumous, like I said. And so in some ways it would be symbolic. But there's a great piece about this by Robert Korn Revere on our website over the summer. And he basically argues that this would send a signal of America's commitment to free thought and free expression. It would be a good and right thing to do in retrospect. And this is who he should pardon, is D.M. Bennett.
Nick, nominate a pardon.
I am going to nominate that the Silk Road founder, Ross Ulbricht, for at least a commutation of the rest of his life sentence for founding and operating the Silk Road website. People here probably know who Ross Ulbricht is, but with the Silk Road, he created a dark web or deep web drug marketplace that was incredibly effective and helpful in people being able to source and find drugs that are illegal or they weren't allowed to buy legally. And it also provided one of the early test cases for Bitcoin because it was operated with Bitcoin. Ross is a former Eagle Scout. He is a model citizen in almost every way. And as longtime readers of Reason will remember, when in his sentencing hearing, the judge went after him in such a way, when I reported it at Reason, a bunch of commenters who expressed their anger and disgust with the judge ended up being investigated by the federal government as a result of their anger. Ross Ulbricht deserves to be pardoned. Donald Trump, to his credit, at the Libertarian Party convention, said he would pardon Ross Ulbricht or commute his sentence early on. There's a hashtag #FreeRossDay1. Joe Biden should do this because Ross Ulbricht is kind of the inverse of Hunter Biden. He is somebody who has committed crimes, been convicted of crimes that have to do with drugs and whatnot. Bring him out, Joe Biden. Steal Donald Trump's thunder and make the world a little bit better. Ross Ulbricht has been serving since 2015. He has been in jail longer than some of the investigators who went after him were, of course, convicted of stealing Bitcoin and other types of things. They're all out. Ross Ulbricht deserves to be pardoned, and certainly if not pardoned, then commuted. That was a clip from the latest Reason Roundtable. If you want to see more clips, go here. If you want to see the whole episode, go here. Make sure to subscribe at Reason's YouTube channel or wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks for listening, watching, or both.